Hello, everybody. This is the inaugural Gritusports show called the Waddle. There is another one on YouTube right now, but it is just a recording, no video. So this is the first video shot we're going to do. My name's Dominic Colella. My friend Alex Price and Jamie Thompson are joining me on the Waddle. This is a Gritusports show, yep, shake your hand, that we talk about YSU sports, and we branch off a little bit into sports going on, you know, in the world, United States, different leagues. We'll talk about all of them.
Strictly the U.S.
Strictly U.S.
No soccer, absolutely at all.
No soccer. Soccer's in the U.S. We could talk about that.
That's Messi.
Messi.
Lionel Messi.
Lionel Messi.
Yeah.
He did have a Super Bowl commercial.
That's true.
That is true.
No English.
No English.
Hardly English.
Hardly English. He doesn't speak English.
Michelob is universal, though.
It is. This is a Waddle Wednesday. Anytime we'll shoot a show, hopefully we'll have this posted on Wednesday. So hopefully this is our first Waddle Wednesday to show you. It may not be every Wednesday, but we'll have Waddle Wednesdays out there. A lot of stuff happened this week. We got new sports starting this week. Softball started last week. We got baseball starting this week. But the big thing was softball. Sophie Howe, first game of the year, threw a no-hitter, complete game no-hitter. Had 6 strikeouts, only 4 base on balls. No runs, obviously. Penguins won 1-0. They also had, I think, 4 other games this past weekend in the tournament to kick off the season. They went 4-1, so they started really well. It's probably important to start well. What's your guys' thoughts?
I mean, obviously it's important to start well, and you can come back from not getting off to a good start, but you always want to go out there, put your best foot forward. 4-1, good start. Looking at the opponents a little bit. Delaware, East Tennessee State, and then Gardner-Webb.
Yeah.
How much I know about those schools when it comes to softball, it's not a lot.
Mm-hmm. Don't sell yourself short there.
You know what? The Google gave me a little bit. Delaware, first in the conference in the Colonial last season, so sold out in the conference tournament. Okay. Double elimination, lost back-to-back, but still regular season. Number 1 in the Colonial, so you have to think they'd be able to reload. Probably have a solid squad, so I think that's who she threw the no-hitter against, right?
Yes, that was the first game of the year.
Can you imagine, this YSU scores 1 run in the first, and she throws the no-hitter to finish out to win 1-0.
I mean, if I'm the coach, I'll take that,
She had
right?
6 strikeouts,
yeah,
I was reading, so pretty impressive game. They won the second game, go 2-0 to start out, but to strike out or to go pitch a no-hitter against Delaware, pretty impressive.
I thought it was impressive.
She was a close second for Athlete of the Week.
That's
for
true.
She was. DJ Burns did end up getting that. Sophie Howe, though, she did have 2 wins over the weekend, so she is 2-0 on the season. I mean, if you're a pitcher, that's a great start. She's probably their ace, I would assume.
It's interesting that she only threw 2 of the games out of the 5 because usually with softball, you got that one horse.
Yeah.
You throw her out there and you let her ride. So maybe beginning part of the season, just want to see what we've got in the bullpen.
Yeah, want to rest the arm.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Keeping it on the spring sports, though, we got baseball starting this Friday at Texas State. They always start on the road because the weather's not good in Youngstown for games this time of year. So they're usually on the road for a good amount of time before they do get back to Youngstown and play at Eastwood Field. But Trey Law and Matt Thompson, preseason all-conference for the Horizon League. Big things there. And also, I just saw, I think it's freshman.
Mm-hmm.
A freshman.
Yeah, all-freshman team.
All-freshman team, Tarpley Jr. Apparently, he's a guy to watch out for this year for the Penguins. So, I'm excited for baseball season, but they start Friday. So.
3 big names out there. Trey Law coming back as the number 1 hitter last season. So hopefully he can continue that going in this year. We got playing at, like you said, Texas State, 3 games in a row. Can you imagine playing the same team 3 times?
And that's how they do it, man.
That's how they do it at all levels,
I know,
too,
it's
through
weird.
D3.
And then they go at Charleston. They are back the 28th of February, though.
They are, 28th of February, they're back?
I think it's at Pitt, but it's up this way.
Okay, it's up this way. Okay. They do play Pitt. I think they do play Pitt almost every year.
They Pitt twice.
I think Pitt's turf, too, so that could make a little bit more sense.
It could.
It's a nice field. Very nice field.
They did have a couple down years past couple years. They're looking for a good year. You think they could? I mean, they won the Horizon League championship. What?
21.
21.
Back in 21, that was I think the regular season title. Poor record of the last 2 seasons under Coach Bertolini. I mean, you had a lot of talent there. Of course, with O'Shaughnessy last season, it's a guy that you and I know well from the baseball days.
He's good. High school.
Yeah, he was a terrific hitter, but gonna have to get more going. Baseball it's not been the number 1 sport in Youngstown State over these years. But we have had good teams in the past, and I mean, with the resurgence of basketball, you'd hope that maybe baseball can come along too, get the big three going, and could have fans training in and out all the way through the summer.
Get fans out to Eastwood Field would be nice. Did they have a big tournament win though, like 7-8 years ago?
I mean, we won the Horizon League
tournament
conference tournament, and that sent us to the big dance. Yeah,
that was huge.
Well, that was a long time ago. I think that might have been when I was 15.
So let's try to make it back to that.
Yeah, that's always the goal.
So we got that Matt Thompson coming back, sophomore last year, first Penguin ever to be freshman of the year. Pretty impressive.
There you go. So we got freshman of the year in the Horizon League coming back.
Yep.
Hopefully he can step up.
Hopefully the baseball team does some promotions, maybe $2 beers.
$2 beers.
Get the fans out there. Get the fans to the games.
Yeah, no doubt.
The Beagley Center is $2 beers. So
how many beers did you just have before the show here?
We had maybe a couple Penguin Cities now.
At the Beag.
At the Beag. We're going to talk about basketball at the Beag. First, the women's basketball team. They're on a 3-game win streak. Don't look now, but they're catching fire. They just scored, I think it was 85, 87 points against, I think it was Oakland the other night, away at Oakland. Those were 3 big wins in a row they really needed, because there was a couple games that they shouldn't have lost, and then they won a couple games they probably shouldn't have won against better teams. But they're on a roll now, 3 games in a row. You're trying to make it 4. They're going to be back. Man,
on the 17th.
The 17th. All right, thank you for that. I know the men are back tomorrow on Valentine's Day at Beagley against Robert Morris.
Should be hopefully an easy win for us there. I mean, we don't take anything lightly this late.
Yeah, not in the Horizon League.
But we've looked good. Lost that last game, obviously at the end, but overall, I think as a team we're getting pretty good.
Yeah, and with the women, I want to say, over the last couple of years, they've been really good throughout the regular season. But then they get to the conference tournament, and they kind of falter because it seems like they're not hitting their stride as they get into the time that really matters.
Yes.
Now we've seen them struggle throughout the beginning parts of the year. Seems like they're starting to ramp it up here. Who knows? This could be a Cinderella story for these ladies.
You never know. That's right. They could be hitting their stride late, and maybe that's when they need to hit it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have the pieces. They really do. It's really a different girl every night. You got Dina Gerals. You have Maddie Allball. We know about Maddie. She's good on defense. We interviewed her. Dina Gerals, but she's a dog though. So they got players.
It's gonna be a tough stretch coming up here. Got the number 1 and 2 seeds in the Horizon on their last 5, 2 out of their last 5 games.
It is going to be tough. It is going to be tough
to grind it out here.
Like I said, if their players, if Malia Majestro steps it up, which she has, Haley Thierry, I hope I said that right, Shaylee Kirby, she just had 24 the other night, so it might be a season high for her. Obviously, Emily Saunders.
She had a double-double in one of the games.
Exactly.
So.
She was player of the week last week, couple double-doubles last week. Paige Shy, we all know about her. She could shoot. Mm-hmm. So the team has players. So hopefully they hit their stride nicely this end of the year and go into the tournament with high hopes for an Indy trip, because last year we hoped they were in Indy. They didn't get there. So hopefully they get back to Indy.
Yep.
Coming up this week, or I think starting tomorrow into the weekend, is the Swim and Dive Horizon League Championships. The YSU men's and women's team are going to compete. So we show a good luck. We extend good luck out to you guys this week and hope you guys can bring back some hardware. We're cheering for you because
fun stat. We got a YSU swimmer, Gavin Webb. He has won the 1650 free in the last 2 seasons. He's the first Penguin to ever win an event at the conference championships.
Wow,
so,
really?
Well, not the past 2 years, but so
Gavin Webb, bring it back 3 years in a row. We're cheering for you.
Like the Chiefs, huh?
Three-peat like the Chiefs.
Like the Chiefs.
Just repeated.
It's gonna be.
It's gonna be. Let's talk about that a little bit.
You want to hop into it now?
Hop into the Super Bowl because it's funny.
It was rigged.
It wasn't rigged. Was it rigged?
Come on.
I don't watch the same game here, Alex. I don't really watch the same game. But we do have a YSU connection to the Super Bowl. Former YSU safeties coach. Former YSU football coach and current former YSU coach and current Chiefs safety coach Donald D. Alicio wins his 2nd straight Super Bowl, his 2nd Super Bowl of his career. Mm-hmm. That's pretty huge, coming from Youngstown. Now he's in the NFL. That's fantastic to see someone, an alumnus of the university, go on to win.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Went to Canfield High School.
Yes.
Played college in the area, coached in the area. I think he coached under Pelini. Pretty impressive 2 years back to back, and not to mention the Chiefs safeties are pretty darn good.
They did play
Secondary
a
is
pretty
elite.
damn good game.
I mean, they've been one of the top defenses this year in the secondary. And if you watched that game yesterday, I think that's what won them the game, was their secondary.
That's probably why he's a job, you know.
So,
So
congrats to him.
congrats to him. Congrats to him. Thoughts?
Well, really, either way that you go, you could have been congratulating Nalesio, or it could have been York, right? So either
Yeah.
way, Youngstown was going to win this one, whether you go with the Niners or you go with the Chiefs. I personally happy it was the Chefs. Big fan of Kansas City, obviously, and I do not like San Francisco.
Big Taylor Swift fan, I'm sure.
I'm a big Swiftie,
Okay.
Hey,
Big Swiftie.
hey, I won't say that I'm a full Swiftie, but I enjoy her music, and I do not like all the hate that she's been getting with Travis Kelce. Same thing
she
when
may not
everyone
deserve
blew
it.
up. Everyone blew up
Speaking
on
of Travis
Kelce.
Kelce, he's shoving his coach now.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah, that was I think
I
they
think he
made a
should've
bigger
been-
deal out of
I
that.
think
I don't know.
I
I think
think
he
bigger
still
deal out
should
of
do
that
it
than
anyway.
what
I think he should have been benched.
yeah,
Hot
we
take.
benched-
Hot take.
Yeah.
He had
You're
nine-
You Steelers guy?
Me?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
Steelers guy. Okay, let's say AB pushes Mike Tomlin when
Bench
the
him.
Steelers were good.
Bench him.
You'd have benched him in the Super Bowl.
Bench him.
Yeah, we
can't
say
say-
that now. We say that now.
See, I think when
How
you
does
get
that
to
look
Super
for the
Bowl-
young kids at home?
I don't
you
care.
see Travis Kelce pushing his coach.
When you get to the Super Bowl,
Looks a lot better when
attentions-
he's holding that Lombardi
That's true.
trophy.
Tensions get high when you get to the Super Bowl. We know the relationships between, Patty and Andy Reid,
Mhm.
Kelsey and Andy Reid. We know there's a relationship there. Did he want to get a message across? Get me the ball? Sure. Should you get your best tight end or your best ball catcher the ball more? Yes.
Mhm.
So he was voicing his frustrations. I think Andy Reid knew that. Was it the best way to, show it? Probably not. Probably shouldn't push your coach, but maybe get up in his face or call him over. But I'm sure they don't really care right now.
I think to your point, it did get the point across because he in the first half had I think one reception.
One
Yeah,
target.
1 yard.
Second half he had 8 receptions and ended up with 93
Yeah,
yards.
right.
Now I thought that pass at the end of the game was going to go to him for the touchdown. Then I would have 100% said it was rigged.
They
right now,
should. They did go
right
to
now
him.
I'm at 90%.
They did go to him, but it was incomplete. They had to kick the field goal to go to overtime.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying in overtime.
Oh, in overtime.
I thought it
overtime
looked like
the
it was.
play
I thought if he
before.
catches
Oh,
this
the
touchdown,
shovel pass.
no, the one that Mecole Hardman scored on.
Yeah, but before that, the shovel
Well, that
pass.
too.
we
You're talking
got
about Tom and Jerry.
Yes.
That's a crazy play name.
So
Tom and Jerry.
They've
Cool.
always
How
got
about
that
him,
one.
man? Starting with the Jets, the worst offensive team in the league this year.
and then
Sadly, Rodgers go down. He ends up back on the Chiefs and wins the Super Bowl.
Yeah, McCole Hardman did nothing the entire year. He had one good game against the Chargers where he had 72 yards, and then he had the game of the season
this
in the Super Bowl, which is crazy.
I mean, happened last year with Kadarius
Kadarius
Toney.
Toney.
He didn't play this past
Cadaverous
Sunday,
Tony.
Yeah.
but he had a
That
he
guy
had a-
stinks.
he
healthy
that guy
scratch,
stinks.
He had a big return last year to set up them shot.
and he was a healthy scratch in the Super Bowl.
Healthy
Yeah.
scratch, an interesting healthy scratch. We didn't know too much about that. Some Instagram posts here or there.
He's.
He's an interesting
I
fella.
wouldn't want him on my team anymore.
He's an interesting fella. But again, shout out Mr. Donald D'Alicio on winning your second Super Bowl, making Youngstown proud. Thank you very much for doing that. Must be cool working with Patty Mahomes though and Andy Reid.
Yeah, I
Must
would
be
imagine.
Cool.
I
Must
was
be cool.
reading. He said he had not met Taylor Swift yet. Just so.
He hadn't yet. Well,
Wow, that's too bad.
that's too bad.
Hopefully
honestly.
he gets to.
That's good. That's good. Keep him away from her.
You're an anti-Swifty.
I am.
Yeah, fair enough.
A lot of stuff going on, but we're going to fly into massive stuff going on at the university. Men's basketball got the big rocking. They got a wonderful record. I think 17, 18 wins. 18-8, I think, is the
Yep.
correct record.
18-8, 10-5 in the conference.
They just had a really good week of playing basketball. They went 1-1. A tough loss on Saturday, but they did beat Milwaukee in overtime on Thursday, I think it was last week. But a tough loss at the buzzer against Green Bay. Shot with 2 seconds left to put them up 1. What did you think about that, Jamie? I know you both were we all three were in the house in different seats. What it looked like from the red seats.
From the reserve section, I will say it was heartbreaking. Everyone was up on their feet. It doesn't happen too often in the Beag, right? You really got to get the crowd going for the reserve seating to get up and standing. But I mean, they ran that 2 screens up the top of the key, freed open one of their shooters, and I mean, you knew it was coming. The only thing you can't afford to do there is give up a 3. And it's exactly what we did. Why would Green Bay play for overtime? You're on the road. You're the number 1 team in the conference. YSU had surged to come back to tie it up, take the lead even.
Yeah.
So you knew it was coming. And It was unfortunate to see that 3 go down.
Yeah,
I fell back in my seat. I literally felt it in my stomach, and I could not stand it.
And they had great 3-point shooting all day.
Oh,
They made 14
outstanding.
threes.
Yes.
It was impressive.
So, I mean, you made 13 threes, you know, you feel like you got the hot hand. I think it was the inbounder that made the shot.
It was
up to the top of the
number
key.
0 ended up making it, but
Yeah.
from my vantage point from the student section, you know, we had you on the floor, you in the reserve seats, I was in the student section. It was quite gut-wrenching because we were chirping at the Green Bay players all game, at the Green Bay fans, and for him to make that shot and one of the Green Bay bench managers to turn around and taunt us, kind of hurt.
Probably hurt a little bit. Probably hurt a little bit.
Because
on
we
you
poured
on
our
the floor.
hearts into the cheering, you know,
You guys did.
screaming loud, everything, and
banging on the
banging on the sign.
post, yeah.
I think we broke it. A couple screws got loose. I don't know.
It's all right.
Can't prove it was us, but
exactly
um,
until right now.
you know, it was heartbreaking. I must say, it was heartbreaking.
I'll tell you what, it was very heartbreaking. I was on the floor on the other end, opposite of the shot, and I didn't want to turn my camera on because of the possibility of getting it, but I was like, why not? You know, anything could happen. Did get it on film, but I was
We're gonna
also
put it in right here.
I
Put
was
the
also,
clip.
yeah, we could put it in, show
the
you
clip
guys.
in.
I don't know if we want to relive it, but it was gut wrenching. I was right near the bench, and literally everyone just was shocked. I mean, just like the fans were, but Calhoun was shocked. He was upset. You know, in the huddle, I could hear him. You know, can't give up a 3. What happened? You gave up a 3 to win the game.
I mean, defensively did not look great most of the game. I will say.
No, but-
Offensively, we looked. I mean, we got some shots rolling. DJ Burns obviously had what was it, 35, 32.
32 had 5
5
threes.
Brett Thompson had 23 points. I mean, those guys were on fire. Like I said, defensively it wasn't rolling, but offensively it looked like we were doing something. And just to lose in that way was a big momentum killer going forward, I think.
Yes, but the one thing I think you could take from this, you could hang with Green Bay. You know you can hang with them. Yes, their best player couldn't play. I don't know if he was hurt, a healthy scratch, whatever it was.
Down at the DoubleTree, thrown up is what I heard.
He could have been.
That's what I heard.
Did you?
Reports.
Maybe he was sick.
Inside sources. I heard
sources.
Inside sources?
I heard he was down at the DoubleTree. It was where they were staying. Maybe he had too much at the bistro the night before. I don't know.
Could be.
Maybe upset stomach.
Bad piece of
sometimes.
beef.
The Friday night flu. I don't know.
I know that happens to you on Saturday nights down in the city sometimes. But, I'm not going to say
We
much
won't-
on it.
We won't disclose any information. We're talking about the basketball team.
Yeah,
But
the Green Bay
The
basketball.
Green
team.
Bay basketball team, yes. But let's go back to Milwaukee on Thursday, the overtime game, which many thought the Penguins probably should have won in regulation, going back to defense.
Yeah,
I don't even know if it was defense. I think it may have been offensively that may have forced that game to OT because it was hard for us to get the ball in bound. We got a 8-second violation. What is it, 8 or 10 in college?
10 to get it
10-second
across.
in violation to get it across. They just put much. I mean, they were up 10 with 2.5 minutes left.
Yeah.
Milwaukee said, we got to push. They did what they needed to do to put it to overtime, but again, Penguins came out in OT, knew they had to win, put it to them. They won by 10 or 12, but that game was pretty crazy.
And shout out Ziggy Reed had a great game. He had 28 points, 8 boards that game. So it seems like these last 2 games, we've had someone take over, which is nice to see in one way.
It was nice. DJ Burns had a couple double-doubles.
Yeah. Well, it was a failure to inbound the basketball, like you said, and I kind of questioned as to why Dines was still on the floor in that situation. You're up 10.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was terrific at defending the rim.
7
the entire
block shots
game.
that night.
Insane. Absolutely insane.
Yes.
But he's not helping you in that situation, right? You get him the basketball, sure, he's a big dude, no one's going to take it from him. You foul him, you send him to the line. He's not a great free throw shooter. You want someone in there that can handle it a little bit better. I'm surprised that Rush wasn't even in the game until they eventually did pull Dines. Rush was on the bench. That should have been your first switch. You should have brought Rush out, take Dines out of the game. I mean, they really struggled to get the basketball in. We let Milwaukee back in it like that, it was nothing.
I mean, I was on the floor again. I mean, you were there. I think all 3 of us were there, right?
Again,
Yeah.
different vantage points.
Different vantage points.
3
and
different
I
ones.
think it was just unbelievable what transpired in the last 2.5 minutes. You're like, there's no way we're going to let them back in this. And it happened. They had a chance to win it even.
Yeah, Freeman, 2 shots at it.
2 shots at it.
He was looking at the crowd doing this.
Yes,
I don't know if you guys saw him. He was doing this. He was looking at the crowd.
He already had it in his mind that he was going to make it. Maybe he thought a little too early. He was chirping a bit at the crowd.
Got a tech for
Got
it.
a tech for it. I saw it right there. He was a little upset about it, but the referee had enough
Right
of
in
it.
front of
Right in front of the ref.
You can't do
I mean,
that.
he came down, started chirping at the crowd.
He's blowing kisses.
The ref did let him go a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
okay? But he just kept going, and the ref said, all right, boy, you had your chance. I gave it to you. Now it's enough.
Yep.
Teed him up. That was huge because I did
Yeah.
bring him out of the game with about 8 minutes left,
Yeah.
and he had to sit because
Took
he
him
had
to
4
4.
fouls.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't remember the Milwaukee game as great as you guys on Thursdays. It was $2 beers for the students. So, you know, we were having fun. We'll have to do a poll after this game of whether or not Jamie should be sitting in the student section. You know,
Yeah, go ahead. Put it in the link.
last two
We
games.
do like our different vantage points.
Last
though.
2 games he was in the red seats. I know you got the floor pass, but Jamie's still a student here at YSU. You know,
Well, it depends what the crowd I'm with. You know,
So-
I was with my dad on Saturday.
We
You want me to
understand.
bring my 50-year-old father into the
we
stands?
would have welcomed him.
Well, I know you guys would, of
So,
course.
he
Friendly student section.
Maybe your dad takes his shirt off. Who knows?
Wow, get on national television.
We
That.
need the students to come out because we, you know, the last 2 games there's not been a ton of us in the student section, but we've
Yeah.
had fun and we've made it pretty loud in there. The crowd eventually gets involved towards the end of the game, and it's been a lot of fun.
I will say that when the students are there and they are chanting, the rest of the arena does follow.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can get more students at these last, I think maybe 2 more home games.
Yeah, 3.
Three
right?
more home
Because we're going to
games.
have, assuming that we end up
Assuming
with
we
the
end
home
up with a
playoff game.
top 4 seed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We'll have a home playoff game. Come to those games. They are fun games. I'll tell you what. The students are there. They start chanting. The whole crowd follows, but
Mm-hmm.
the students do take a big part of that. So come out.
It's a much different
Absolutely.
environment than the football games. You
It
know?
is. It
Yeah,
is,
it's so much better. I've always been a
Yeah.
fan of watching basketball in the kind of the student section vibe a little bit more. Football, it's
Yeah.
so big, and especially when you're just chanting for a school, it's not like you're at an NFL or an Ohio State,
Yeah, not
Ohio
the
State
same.
game.
Different
It's,
feel,
it's totally
different
different.
And
right.
you know, most of the students at those games leave by halftime because it's cold
Yeah.
and it's fun. But this, it's warm,
It's indoors.
controlled environment, it's loud.
Wear a short sleeve shirt. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I at least wear another layer that you can remove.
Hopefully we get a home Horizon League playoff game, getting into Horizon League breakdowns and bracketologies. I know
Bracketology.
these two have looked at it. What are you guys seeing and how is it unfolding? We do have two teams at the top. Maybe you want to include Youngstown State in there for 1 seed, 2 seed chances. So what do you guys see unfolding with the last 4, 5 games of the year?
Five games.
5
left.
games.
Per-
6 for some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, off the jump, I think it's going to be tough for the Penguins to get into the 1 seed, especially because they are 2 games back there, because of the schedule of the other teams. I
Yeah.
think we can. I personally think we can win out. Our schedule's not overly tough. We do play Oakland again, so it would be another or Green Bay.
Green Bay,
again.
Cleveland
Excuse me.
State, Milwaukee.
I
Yep.
think we can win those games, but in terms of the other teams, I don't think their schedules are as tough where they're gonna lose enough for us to get into that 1 seed. 2 seed, maybe there's a possible chance of sliding there because we are only 1 game back from the 2 seed.
From Oakland, yeah. Yeah, I've got us projected at that 3, kind of like him here. I think the Gwins, the most likely track for them is to go 3-2 throughout these next 5 games. Obviously, you get home wins over Robert Morris and Detroit Mercy.
Yeah.
Then you've got 3 tough road games. You've got Milwaukee, Cleveland State, Green Bay. Milwaukee, we already played tight. Green Bay, we know, is very good. And Cleveland State, that's as close as you can get to a rivalry for Youngstown. So those are 3 games on the road that are going to be very tough to win. You've really got to win one of them. Because if you do, the guys that are underneath you, Wright State has to win out, go
Yep.
perfect 5-0 to jump you. And then Northern Kentucky and Cleveland State, they've got to go 4-1 to even force a tie.
Yeah.
Which and then like I said, so then Green Bay plays Cleveland State, so that's gonna be tough for them to even win that game. Oakland plays Wright State, which is gonna be tough for Wright State. So, but I think those are the 2 big games for those teams. Green Bay also plays NKU, which could be a tough game. You never know how it goes this late in the season. But like we both said, I think YSU at 3. I think we sit 3 comfortably, no matter what, for the
Yeah,
most part.
I feel very good about the 3
We-
spot.
Because that does give us a bye, correct?
It does.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we could drop to 4
Top
and we
4
still
gets a
get
bye.
well,
Yes.
top
Top
5
5
technically,
technically.
but 4 you get the home game.
Yeah,
that's where you
home
want to
game
be.
is huge, especially when you're the Penguins and you can play at Beagley Center
Yes.
because they are the best environment in the Horizon League, maybe one of the best environments in the mid majors. I know Kennesaw State is a good.
Well, yeah, and then you
environment.
stretch to Dayton too,
You
because they're
stretch to
technically a
Dayton.
mid-major.
Yeah,
that's,
they're a little.
That's
bigger.
probably number 1.
Probably number 1. I probably agree with you there. But the Penguins, they have a great environment, so that home game is important.
At the
'Cause
Beag.
you could just win that
Yeah.
game and go to Indy. So
Right.
that is the plan.
The semifinals are in Indianapolis.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
semis and finals will be in the Farmers Coliseum. And then if you end up with that 3 seed, the way that I kind of have it projected, you're going to end up with Cleveland State at 6, so Wright's at 4, Northern Kentucky at 5. That Northern Kentucky and Cleveland State can switch depending on the tiebreakers, how they end up.
Yep.
Detroit at 7, Fort Wayne at 8, Robert Morris at 9, IUPUI at 10, Detroit at 11. I don't see Detroit, or IUPUI, or RMU really pulling off an upset in the first round. They could. So predominantly you're going to see Cleveland State. They're going to move on. They'll play Oakland. We're going to end up with Milwaukee, and then Fort Wayne's going to go to Green Bay. So once again, if it ends up like projected, we're going to have Freeman in our house talking his noise, and that game got chippy against Milwaukee.
Oh, yeah.
Very chippy.
Yeah,
so
well,
if we get to that, the fans need to come out.
It gets chippy
to.
all the time. Milwaukee, we know last year it got chippy. Detroit Mercy got chippy. I mean, when it gets to Youngstown and it gets to the nitty-gritty late in the season, games get chippy for some reason. I think it's the environment. I think it gets to everybody. Even the cats on the floor, the people in the stand, the coaches. It gets to everybody. It rises the tension, rises the competitiveness, and I honestly love it. I honestly love it.
So future prediction: we get in. Let's say we take the 3 seed. Who would we end up playing? You said.
I think it's Milwaukee.
Milwaukee beat Milwaukee. Now we're in the semifinals. I mean, YSU's this close again to the NCAA tournament. I mean, I think this team's better than last year's team.
It's you can put them up against each other.
I think they're more well-rounded.
Similar.
I think last year you had Dwayne Cohill. I think he's probably the best player out of the last 2 teams overall. But I think as a team as a whole, I think this team's there.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. Because kind of like you mentioned a little bit earlier, it seems like someone's taking over, right? We had Ziggy Reed on Thursday, and then Saturday it was Burns, and then, of course, Thompson's always been there.
Yeah.
We don't have to rely on one person. Cohill was that guy last year, and if he didn't get going, it felt like we were almost lifeless on offense. Now you've got Reed who can step up, you've got Burns who can step up, Thompson can do it, and Rush. Brandon Rush has not played his best basketball this season.
He has not. And I think he knows that himself.
Yeah, and every time he's on the floor, though, he's that factor. You know it's coming at some point that Rush needs just a half second to get open, and he can get hot.
He's the best pure shooter on the YSU basketball team.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
I mean, once he gets hot, he gets hot, man. He can shoot
and
from
he's
anywhere.
An athletic freak.
He's an athletic freak.
Oh, yeah.
He can jump out of the gym. He can shoot from anywhere because he has the confidence. He'll pull up from anywhere.
Right.
So if you get him going, get him eight threes. I mean, that's a lot of threes. 6 threes, 5 threes. Get him going. Then he has confidence to drive to the hoop and make it happen.
Right.
He could do it. He just isn't feeling it right now. Maybe, I don't know what it is, but I think he wants to get back to what he can do, and I think he knows he can. And if he can, the last few weeks into the tournament, I think that sets up YSU to be even more set in Indy to win those 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, you've got 5 games left. Sometimes it takes one shot, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes, maybe it'll take 1 game. If he can get going one of these last 5, and you've got 2 favorable matchups in RMU, and then you've got Detroit coming too. If he can start feeling it, maybe we get the old Rush back, and you pair him with the guys who have been playing very well this season.
And we have an athletic team too.
Yeah, very
athletic
very
team.
much so.
You rounded out with EJ Farmer, Lovelace, Langdon. Those are all athletic guys.
Yeah.
Stretch the floor on offense, but I think defensively, we could be a better defensive team than we are, which is just how athletic they are.
Which is crazy because, that Wright State game, the nationally broadcast, the statistic was we were number 1 in the Horizon League.
Yeah.
And we looked good then. But since then, we've kind of
Hasn't
faltered.
been great.
Last week
Hasn't been
did not look that great defensively.
Yeah.
But we
Hasn't.
know, like you said, it's in us.
It's in us. I think they can get back to a good defensive team. I think just the last couple of games they played good offensive teams, so it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's tough matchups. We
Tough
don't match
matchups.
up well with
Tough
Green Bay.
matchups. We didn't match up well. Was a close game, but we have a lot of hope this year. Hopefully we can make it to Indy, make it the NCAA tournament.
NCAA tournament, the Waddle, we have to go.
We have to go.
No matter where it
Quick
is.
stat for you.
Well,
the women have been there 3 times. The YSU men's team, 0.
Yep.
So maybe this is the year. We're hoping for it. We're hoping for it here. I hope everyone else is hoping for it. It would be huge for Youngstown and Youngstown State
Yep.
to put us on the map. You see what happens to universities that get there. They maybe show out against a top team. They're all over the country. Sales of merchandise maybe go up.
Admissions go up.
It happened this past year with who beat Purdue?
Fairleigh Dickinson.
Yeah, their
Brandon
admissions
Rush's
went up.
old school.
Their
Actually,
admissions
he's
went
from
up.
FDU.
All
Yeah.
right.
Well, it
So
always happens.
Oral Roberts a couple years ago, their admissions went up.
And I think if you look at those teams, though, like I remember watching those teams play, they're good teams. Obviously, they went on those Cinderella runs, but our guys look, like them. We're an
We
athletic
look like
team.
we'd be
We're a
like
big
them.
team. We have talent. I mean, let's get in the tournament. Let's make a run.
Yeah.
We
Well,
hope for it.
So
go ahead.
So
One thing I want to throw in there. One thing that always starts with those Cinderella teams is good guard play. We have good guard
Yes.
play and someone that can go and get it.
we have
YSU fits
two
the
good
bill.
guards. We have Brett Thompson and Langdon.
Yep.
Be smooth. Brandon Langdon, he could shoot. He could hit threes too. He gets like how many 4 or 5 against Wright State.
Yeah, he
So
went
he got
crazy.
hot. This team's good. Hopefully we get to the tournament.
another quick point about the Horizon League, though. Will Detroit Mercy go winless for the season?
Nope, they win. They win against IUPUI.
You
Mark
think?
me down for it.
Valentine's
I'm
Day,
take-
they play Detroit Mercy, and they are favored. Oh, wait, no. Detroit Mercy plays Robert Morris on Valentine's Day, and Detroit Mercy is favored.
I bet they go winless the rest of the year.
I think they win one.
There's the bet here.
I think they'll get one.
Jamie
Can't go
says
win this
Detroit
game.
Mercy wins
Can't
one.
do it.
Alex says they
I'm thinking
don't.
they
They
go
go
0-31.
winless, which would be probably like this. I think 6th or 7th team in NCAA history to go winless.
Wow.
That'd
And then
be
they
crazy.
beat Cleveland State in the playoffs.
That'd be crazy.
Whoa.
I'm talking regular season.
Talking regular. Okay,
season.
yeah. You won't rule out the Cinderella story.
Who knows in the tournament?
That would be
Regular
crazy.
season.
A lot of talk, We did a lot of talking tonight, but thank you for watching. This is the inaugural video Waddle Wednesday. Again, Dominic Kalala, Jamie Thompson, Alex Price. Handshake.
Pleasure.
We'll see you next time on another Waddle Wednesday. We do have an interview coming out in the next couple days with a YSU bowler. Look out for that along with this video. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, go Gwents.
Go Penguins.
God bless, go Gwens.
That's the cold months.
Your socks are out right now, Dom.
Your socks are out.
I know. My socks are out. We're all socks. We
I
should
hit my
change the name
socks.
from the Waddle to the Sockcast.
Sock.
Sockcast.
Alright, you guys ready?
3 dudes in socks. Yep.
Shoot. You have to cut
The
this.
quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog.